afternoon, professor, judges, and audience. Imagine living in a city where simply breathing the air poses a risk to your health. Well, this is the reality for millions in Jakarta. My name is Grizella and my research is titled Jakarta Citizens' Perspective Toward Government Policy on Air Pollutions. Here's my presentation's outline. My presentations today will cover topics from background to the conclusions. Now, let's watch the following video as I briefly explain what happened in Jakarta in the middle of 2023, particularly in August. So at that time, Jakarta's poor air quality gained a lot of attention after a viral TikTok video showed how severe the air pollution had become. The video sparked widespread concerns over the city's worsening air quality. Ranked 7th in the world and the worst in Southeast Asia for PM 2.5 levels, Jakarta faced a growing health crisis such as respiratory infections, cardiovascular problems, and higher death rates. Despite of government efforts, PM 2.5 levels remain dangerously high, exceeding the safe limits set by the World Health Organizations. Therefore, this research aims to evaluate the effectiveness of Jakarta's air pollution policies in meeting public expectations for improved air quality. In this research, I'm focusing on answering 3 research questions. The first one is, what are the attitudes and the opinion of Jakarta citizens toward government policy on air pollution? Second, how do they assess the effectiveness of these policies? And third, based on their perspective, what are the better or effective ways to reduce air pollution in Jakarta? If we're talking about the government initiatives, the Jakarta government itself has already introduced several policies to combat air pollution. Starting in 2005, the air pollution control policy was established alongside car-free days. In 2014, a sustainable transportation policy led to MRT and LRT projects. The odd-even policy was firstly introduced in 2016 and it was expanded in 2018 and 2019 to reduce vehicle emissions. In 2020, the Air Pollution Standard Index (ISPU) standardized air quality monitoring and emission testing became mandatory for vehicles. And finally, in 2021, the integrated transportation systems expanded public transits, cyclist lanes, and pedestrian spaces. While these policies reflect the Jakarta government initiatives to combat air pollution, understanding their effectiveness based on the citizens' perspective is essential. Therefore, for data collections, I use structured online survey that distributed among Jakarta residents, male and female, aged 18 to 40, with 5 to 10 years of residency. I use Google Form to distribute the survey, promoting it through social media and community networks to ensure diverse participation. The questionnaire consists of 6 sections covering topics from basic information to public situations on air pollution policies, and in the end, I successfully gathered 479 responses. To address research questions 1, which explores the Jakarta citizens' attitudes toward air pollution policies, I analyzed 479 responses. Using factor analysis in SPSS, 6 key factors were identified, with factor 5, satisfactions with emissions controls having the lowest mean scores among them, that is 3.06, which indicated low satisfactions with the government emissions control policy. One-way ANOVA anti-tests were also applied. In here, identified significant demographic differences, particularly in age, occupation, income, residential area, and layout residence, each with p-values below 0.05. Key findings include younger, unemployed, and higher income respondents showed less favorable attitudes toward air pollution policies. Respondents from West Jakarta and those living over 10 years also showed more negative perceptions. In contrast, gender and education levels showed minimal differences across most factors, each with p-values above 0.05, indicating limited variation among these groups. Next, to address research questions 2, how Jakarta citizens assess the effectiveness of air pollution policies, I analyzed public satisfactions with key policies ranging from air quality monitoring to the odd-even policy. Among the 6 key policies evaluated, air quality monitoring and public transportation initiatives have the lowest mean scores of 2.59 and 2.75 respectively, indicating high dissatisfactions with the effectiveness of air quality monitoring efforts and public transportation initiatives. Breaking this down further, for air quality monitoring, over 43% of the respondents disagreed with its effectiveness, while only 2.7% agreed. Similarly, public transportation initiatives showed a high percentage of neutrality, that is 56.2%. However, dissatisfaction was also evident where 35.7% of the respondents disagreed with its effectiveness. As we can see here from the table, most of the responses lean toward neutrality or dissatisfaction, highlighting the need for improvements, especially in public transportation options and awareness campaigns to enhance policy effectiveness. And lastly, to address research question 3, which examines the most effective solutions for reducing Jakarta's air pollution, from the citizen's perspective, I analyzed the PSU 4 variables. In here, as we can see from the chart, nearly half of the respondents, 46.1%, preferred for eco-friendly public transportations, with additional support for renewable energy and the reductions of fossil fuel vehicle usage. One-way ANOVA entities were also applied. In here, identified significant demographic differences, particularly in age, occupation, and income, each with p-values below 0.05. Key findings include respondents aged 36 to 45, self-employed, and earning less than 1 million rupiah, prioritize solutions more strongly. However, no differences were observed for gender, education level, residential area, and length of residence, each with p-values above 0.05. And there's also no post-hoc test, which indicated no significant pairwise differences, suggesting general trends rather than sharp divides. These findings emphasize the need for the government to focus more on public transportations, renewable energy, and targeted strategies to address concerns across demographics. In summary, the findings reveal a gap between Jakarta's air pollution policies that have been implemented and public expectations towards it. Current efforts such as quality monitoring, public transportations are still viewed as inadequate, especially by younger, higher income, and long-term residents. The strong public preference for eco-friendly transportations and renewable energy presents an opportunity for policymakers to refocus on these areas. Moreover, bridging this gap will require addressing socioeconomic differences, enhancing public awareness, and prioritizing sustainable solutions aligned with the citizens' needs. And finally, this alignment could foster stronger community support and create better outcomes for improving Jakarta's air quality. Before I end these presentations, I have a few words. Stop air pollution, let's love the air as it gives us life. This is my presentations. Thank you for listening.